Hey everybody, welcome back, or welcome to the finale of Wild 9. Yeah, so the last level was giving me a conniption, it was giving me fits. So I'm like, you know what, we're just gonna jump right to the coolest part of the game, the most interesting part of the game, the most interesting boss of the game. Yeah, the most interesting boss of the game, the main villain of the game, the main reason why I enjoyed this game in the first place. When I played through, it was a slog to get to this finish. It was. But now, you know, I have the benefit. Before, it was like gamer pride, and, you know, dial-up internet, so Cheat CC wasn't as accessible. But now, it's like, okay, alright, we can get to Wex versus Karn. We can have ourselves a lovely time, so let's do this. Yeah. Karn is freaking huge.
You came a long way to die, Wex.
Yeah.
Come here.
Yeah. That's so crazy. He's so freaking huge.
Help me, Wex.
And I can only help her one way. Oh god. Yep. And he's gonna drag him across. Yep. Like, he's a whoa. Crap. He's a giant head that shoots laser beams out of his eyes. That's so nuts. That's so nuts. Alright. Come on, I need... I forgot what his attack patterns are, but I don't really think they get much worse than this. You know, he crosses the I-beams and you jump for a while, and then when you do get to hit him, it is epic. You know. And it makes me wonder, excuse me, why Wex didn't do it sooner. Okay. Yep. Yeah. That's awesome. That is very awesome. But this level takes a while because this boss has to... Whoa. Yeah. This boss has to cycle through... Oh god. Missiles. Oh my god. Oh god. Oh, here it is. Here it is, okay. Oh my goodness. I mean, he has an awesome... Oh, really? He has an awesome array of weaponry. But it does get, like, kinda tedious.
Don't even go there.
I mean, yeah. The homage to, Mortal Kombat. Which is nice. An obligatory homage to Mortal Kombat. Scorpion. But that's the thing, is like, this boss is long not because, you know, he's particularly difficult, but he's long because it takes so long to get through each one of his phases.
That must be crazy.
And it's like, boom. Oh. Yep. Yeah. And then you don't really take off that much health when you hit him. It's like, here we go. Yeah, boom. Boom. Yep. You know, I must admit, I'm very happy. Well, I'm very happy that this game came out. And I'm very happy that games have progressed to the point where now, instead of just fighting a boss on a two-dimensional plane, you can fight him in like an in-game three-dimensional space, which is very cool. You know, you have the ability to run around a given area, hide behind things, jump, dodge, block, all the things that you couldn't necessarily do in this era. Like nowadays, like Sly Cooper. And you know, they had to, the game developers had to figure out a way to break it up because, one, it's unrealistic for Wex to run this long without getting tired and without getting crushed. And two, they realized that there were long stretches in between anything eventful happening in the fight, other than, you know, the fight itself. But that's why they have.
Would you look at that size of him?
That's why they had Wex shout insults. That's why they had Wex shout insults at him. Yep. I think this is my favorite attack because it's so predictable. I don't have to do anything but just like move a couple inches to the left or the right. Safe. As long as you hear the cue, that first thump, you're good. And here we continue to run. We continue to run. Nope. And we're gonna do I-beams again. He reminds me, or better, yeah, well, yeah, I don't know if the actual Batman comic with Bane had come out at this point, but he reminds me a lot of Bane because of the way his head looks and the respirator that he needs to live. And it's crazy. Most of Karn's body is robotic. So I'm trying to figure out why he's moving like, oh. Yeah. Just stay on this crotch line. I'm good to go.
Would you look at that size of him?
Which is crazy because Karn was supposed to have a head this size of him. Okay.
Oh my god, like, take a bath.
Hopefully, that's a good point. If he's a giant, there it is. If he's a giant head and the only biological portion of him is indeed his face and skin, his eyeballs would have to reek. This makes me think, why haven't they made a Futurama game? I think a Futurama game would be interesting. I think a Futurama game set in the Grand Theft Auto style. Futurama game set in the Grand Theft Auto style with, whoa, No Man's Sky, which is No Man's Sky, which is a roguelike. And for those of you who don't know what a roguelike game is, a roguelike game is a game that constantly randomly generates as you play. So no two playthroughs will ever be the same. So let's say that I went back and I played one of these levels one of these platform levels that you have to traverse through. That means that the design of the level, the platforms, the swings, the enemies, they would all be in different locations every single time, which is really cool. And I really like roguelike games because it adds an element of, there you go. That took me like 8 tries when I first played them.
Thanks. See you later.
Where are you going?
That took me like 8 tries my first time. Shiny. Yay! All right, Tall Man and President David Perry. So that was Wild 9. So I hope you all enjoyed it. I apologize if anyone, expected me to play through every single grueling portion of that game, because it is a slugfest. But after a while, seeing frustration and not seeing any progression just kind of gets boring and annoying. And to anyone we forgot, let out, otherwise shattered in the credit list, we apologize. You know who you are. Thanks to the men who keep us working, for keeping hardware and software working, for late night burgers and pizzas, clearly to fall, for supporting the team through thick and thin against all who died, the women who kept our lives in order to make Shiny a great place to work too, for getting us into this country, for paying us and giving the programmer a place to sleep, for making sure that we were well cared for cleaning up our mess without getting too mad, dogs Jesse for playing ball and being mellow, Rusty for making sure that there wasn't any food in the trash in the office, to all the people in Interplay Productions around the world who have worked for us over the course of this project, believing in us and accepted our stubbornness. Yes. Bravo. Bravo, Shiny. And lastly, to all our wives, girlfriends, fiancés, husbands, boyfriends, and pets, we really were working late. Honest, thanks for sticking with us through this. Final thank you to all the cows we loved before. Yes. Yes. Now those are credits. I like that. Thank you for playing Wild 9. Now go out and get some fresh air from Bangus. Even before Metal Gear Solid, there were warnings and stuff like that in place to go out, to stop playing. And let's go to options, talk for the final portion of the game. And here's what I'm going to do. Let's just take the music down, because the game, I really enjoyed the fact that the game came out. It was from my favorite creators of Earthworm Jim. I absolutely loved Earthworm Jim 2. Earthworm Jim 1 was okay. The Earthworm Jim 2, that's when they really creatively jumped out the box to me. Varied the level design, varied the weapons, made everything more bright and vibrant, made everything have a unique feel and appeal to it. And they tried something with this game. And now at the time, I thought this was the greatest game in the world. It was back in the PlayStation era of things, so you didn't even have an Xbox out around the first generation PlayStation. The only thing that you had, I believe, was the Dreamcast, I think. But for a PlayStation game, this was pretty cool. It was pretty unique. It was pretty innovative. This is before dual analog sticks, because Ape Escape was the first game that really incorporated that. But I think they did well. They did really well as a game development company. It made it into my collection of games that I cherish. Now, I haven't played it since then, and to be fair, no, the game hasn't held up well over the years. I mean, it's an interesting, kind of talking piece, but you can feel the clunkiness of it when compared to other games from the future. We have PlayStation 4 now, so it's not realistic to hold this up to the same expectation that you would a PlayStation 4 game. So I think they did really well for having a vision and bringing it to life. I really appreciate that they tried to go in a completely new direction instead of making Earthworm Jim 3D, which I think would have compromised Earthworm Jim, because he was a cartoon. And they kept him in a cartoon-ish style that really suited him. So, thank you, Team Shiny, for making this game. It was a fun experience. I needed cheat codes before, I believe, and I needed cheat codes now to get through it. But it was a fun experience with zany characters who didn't always make sense. And that's the universe that they dealt with. So, you know, I give my hats off to them. They created something that appealed to me as a child, and you know, they made a dream of theirs come true, and I really like the credits. Those are the kind of credits that you should roll at the end that gave them life and personality. So, thank you so much for joining me. This was the finale episode. This was Wild 9. If you liked it, mash that like button like there's no tomorrow. Share the video with the world. Hit me up on Twitter and hit me up in the comment section below. Let me know what you think about the videos thus far. And I am the Outlier, and I will see you all in the next video.